Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, my friends Willie, Andres, my cousin Hugo, and I used to love fishing at a secluded spot called the Mercedes Resaca. It was a beautiful place, with a waterfall that looked like something out of a painting. During the day, it seemed like a normal, peaceful pond. But if you ever went there at dawn, before the sun had fully risen, it felt different. The fog that clung to the water and the stillness of the early morning made you feel like you had stepped back in time, to an era long forgotten. As the mist hung heavy in the air, everything around you, the dense bushes, the murky water, even the quiet sounds of nature, felt ancient. It was like standing on the edge of something prehistoric, and it played tricks on your mind. That day started off just like any other. We unpacked our gear just as the sun began to rise and decided we'd stay the whole day. Everything was normal. We caught some decent-sized fish and spent the day laughing, relaxing, and enjoying the scenery. As dusk began to fall, we started packing up. The air had taken on that cool, eerie feel that comes right before night swallows the sky. Before leaving, we decided to gut the fish we'd caught. Standing by the edge of the pond, we cleaned them, washing the blood and scales away in the water. The sun had almost fully set, leaving only the faintest glow on the horizon. We were tired but satisfied, ready to head home. That's when it happened. Willie, who was standing closest to the water, suddenly froze.
Hey, do you see that?
He whispered, his voice trembling. We turned, following his gaze. At first I didn't see anything, but then from the middle of the pond, something dark, something massive, broke the surface of the water. It wasn't a ripple or a fish. It was something else. A long, dark silhouette rose slowly from the depths, a neck, no, more like a serpent emerging from the water. It moved with a strange, unnatural grace. Its neck stood tall, casting a shadow against the last bit of light. And then, it turned its head, towards us. We stood there, frozen, like prey caught in a predator's gaze. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, every beat louder than the next. The creature's glowing eyes, red like burning coals, swept over us. I couldn't move. None of us could. It was as if time had stopped, and we were trapped in that moment of pure primal fear. For what felt like an eternity, the thing just watched us, its dark form swaying gently in the water. The silence was deafening, broken only by the faint sound of water dripping from the creature's neck. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the figure slowly descended back into the pond, disappearing beneath the surface without a sound. It was gone, and just like that, the spell was broken.
Go get in the car.
Willie shouted, his voice cracking with panic. We didn't need to be told twice. In an instant, we were running, scrambling to get to the car. Our hands shook as we fumbled with the keys, and I don't even remember how we got the engine started. We sped out of there, tires screeching against the gravel, none of us daring to look back. The silence in the car was thick with fear. No one spoke a word. I was still shaking, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what we had just seen. After what felt like forever, Andres pulled over at a gas station. We sat there for a moment, the fluorescent lights of the store casting a harsh glow on our pale faces.
What the hell was that?
Hugo finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. None of us had an answer. We grabbed drinks, hoping something cold would calm our nerves, but nothing could shake the image of that thing out of our heads. We never went back to that pond again. And even now, years later, I still see it sometimes. Those glowing red eyes, the dark silhouette rising from the water. People still ask me about that pond. They wonder why we never returned, why we stopped fishing there. I just tell them it's a beautiful place with a waterfall that's worth seeing, but only during the day. At night, well, that's a different story. If you ever find yourself near the Mercedes Resaca, take my advice, don't stay past dusk. You never know what might be watching from beneath the surface.
Stories may end, but the fear remains. Subscribe to uncover more secrets hidden in the darkness. Until we meet again in the world of nightmarish shadows.